Sri Lanka's most powerful news brand.
Hello and welcome to the weekend edition of Primetime News on TV1. For the news team, I'm Azra San. And before we head into our stories in detail, here's a look at the headlines. Most Venerable Professor Bellanvilla Vimalaratne Thero passes away. President appoints a 5-member presidential commission to probe Sri Lankan Airlines and Mihin Lanka. Kadukasturi Bridge becomes a home for a family of 3. Now on to our stories in detail. The body of the late Most Venerable Bellanvilla Vimalaratne Thero is to be moved to the Bellanvilla Rajamaha Viharya. The final rites will be performed on the 8th of this month.
The Viharadhikari of the Bellanvilla Rajamaha Viharya and Chancellor of the Sri Jayawardhanapura University, Venerable Professor Bellanvilla Vimalaratne Thero, passed away this afternoon while being treated at a private hospital in Colombo. The Venerable Thero suffered serious injuries following a sudden accident at the temple last morning and was rushed to the Colombo South Teaching Hospital. Thereafter, he was transferred to a private hospital in Colombo.
If you are thinking that causing a conflict with other religions and Buddhists is the way to resolve issues, I believe that it is a very narrow-minded and a very petty way of thinking.
Most Venerable Bellanvilla Vimalaratne Thero was a well-known speaker and was 77 years old at the time of his passing. Born on the 14th of April 1942 as Gilbert Pereira, he was the 4th in a family of 6. He was educated at the Nikape Sri Vijayaraj School and thereafter moved to the Piliyandala Central College. At the age of 13, he attained robes and took the name Bellanvilla Vimalaratne Thero. He followed the footsteps of his elder sibling, Venerable Bellanvilla Dhammaratne Thero, and entered the Molligoda Pravachanodaya and then in 1957 moved into the Palayagoda Vidyalankara Pirivena for further education. In 1963, he entered the Vidyalankara University and then was appointed as assistant lecturer for the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. The Venerable Thero also held the position of professor and chancellor at the university and was serving as the chancellor at the time of his passing. He served as a pioneer in establishing the National Sangha Council and well known for taking leadership at struggles concerning the nation and the Sasana. He is well respected for his services in the language, arts and literature sectors of the country.
The Venerable Thero was capable of preaching Dhamma sermons in Sinhala, Pali, English and in Sanskrit. Therefore, his passing is a great loss for us all. He always advised on moving this country in the correct direction. His passing is a great loss for the entire world and the Buddhist community.
Most Venerable Bellanvilla Vimalaratne Anunayaka Thero, may you attain the bliss of Nibbana.
President Maithripala Sirisena, speaking at an SLFP meeting in Kalaniya, commented on the EPF being looted during the previous regime.
You are aware, during the past 3 years, there wasn't a single assassination. There were no disappearances. Sportsmen were not killed in the streets. Journalists did not flee the country. No matter what placard the new political party raises, it is a party that is attempting to protect the corrupt and bring back the corrupt family to rule this country. Not only one political family looted the country, there were many others. These will be revealed in a month's time. The commissions have clearly stated the Employees Provident Fund was looted from 2008 to 2010. This is the money of the poor, the people in the private sector. the money in the National Savings Bank, the Mahapol scholarship, have been looted.
Mahapol Sishatti Sadi. Mewai me kala diyen.
It is a right for every single person to have a home to live. However, tonight we report about a family that has been living under a bridge for more than 4 years, neglected from society.
People across the world face many issues and undergo various forms of bitter experiences. At a time when some are enjoying luxuries in full equipped mansions, there are many who lost everything and are forced out of their homes. This bridge is located in Katugastota along the Jaffna-Colombo A9 road. Thousands move back and forth over this bridge on a daily basis. Yet, there is an untold story beneath it. "51-year-old Abdul Rahim and his wife Siti Qureshia have been living under this bridge for many years without even the basic necessities for survival. Siti Qureshia is a mother of 3. Abdul Rahim is forced to take to the streets and beg from passers-by simply to afford a meal for his family. He used to work at a koi mill, but an accident at work cost him his arm.
වයසේ අම්මයි කෙනෙක් ගෙදර ඉන්නවා. ඒ අම්මටයි අපිට කාලා බිලා ජීවත් වෙන්න තමයි කීයක් හරි හිල්ලා ගන්න පේමන්ට් එකේ වාඩි වෙලා කීයක් හරි හිල්ලා ගන්න. මේ පාරේ යන මිනිස්සු දුප්පත් මිනිස්සු අපිට දෙන්නේ වලින් තමයි අපි කාලා බිලා ජීවත් වෙන්නේ. කවුරුවත් අපිට කවුරුවත් සලකන්නේ.
සල්ලි ඔක්කොම හොරකම් කරගත්තා මගේ ගෙවල් ඔක්කොම ගත්තා මේ අන්දමෙරි මිනිහෙක් මේ අත්පෙන්නේ යම්මෙක් මං කියාගෙන මං ජීවත් වෙන්නේ මැද.
When it rains, their shelter is immediately invaded by floodwaters, and this family is rendered helpless. Their only hope is for a house to live in without any trouble.
The people's voice against corruption.
It is indeed very saddening to see how the lives of our people are across many areas in the country at a time when the largest financial scam in the country, the central bank treasury bond scam, has taken its toll on the lives of the people of Sri Lanka. For us, let me start off by asking you a 19 billion plus question. Who invited this man, Arjuna Mahendran, to take up the post of governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka?
The answer is very simple. It's the man who has 40 years of parliamentary experience, the man who's been leading a national political party for 23 years, and who is this time round the 4 times Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, the one and only Ranil Wickremesinghe.
Our Prime Minister, Ranil Wickremesinghe. So, let's start off by referring to the evidence at the Presidential Commission of Inquiry and its report. Now, in the report, and when the evidence was being recorded, the commissioners asked Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe who invited Arjuna Mahendran, and the Prime Minister said it was he who invited.
That's right.
And then you must not forget that after appointing Arjuna Mahendran to the post of governor of the central bank, Ranil Wickremesinghe continuously defended the appointment. He also went on to defend Arjuna Mahendran even after the bond scam was exposed for us.
That's right. He even took Mr. Mahendran with him on state visits. He went overseas, at least on one occasion that I can remember. And he was forever and a day batting for Mr. Mahendran.
That's right. The Prime Minister was continuously appearing and representing and defending Arjuna Mahendran even after the bond scam. And one question comes into mind. The main reason is because he is also a party to this. If not, why would an individual like Malik Samarawickrama, the chairman of the UNP, who went for that breakfast meeting in the capacity of the advisor to the Prime Minister, go for that meeting and have discussions on the allocations that are required, or the monetary requirement?
That meeting was completely and utterly against the established process or procedure. It was complete departure from due process.
And also for us, another incident comes to my mind where the Prime Minister was defending Arjuna Mahendran. Do you remember after 2016 when Arjuna Mahendran left the post or vacated the post of governor, a huge issue was raised in Parliament that Arjuna Mahendran had fled the country. He had gone back to Singapore. And who came in his defense?
The one and only man who is the self-appointed caretaker of Arjuna Mahendran, and that was Ranil Wickremesinghe.
Let's have a listen to what the Prime Minister had to say back in 2016.
When I met Arjuna Mahendran last week, he said that he will be attending a wedding and that he will return. He hasn't fled the country like Udayanga Veeratunga.
There you are. You just witnessed how the Prime Minister defended and appeared on behalf of Arjuna Mahendran. Now for us, when you are taking over some position or you appoint someone to a position, you have a moral responsibility or moral obligation for the conduct of that individual. Am I not correct for us?
Well, yes, there is a moral obligation and duty of care. It even starts off with the simple thing. If you get your family or somebody to hire a domestic for you, that person, the first thing will say to you is, well, I must get hold of somebody who's honest and who's capable and who will deliver service to you. It's
Indeed,
the first thing that they'll do.
And speaking of moral obligations, the Prime Minister continuously said, don't worry, Arjuna Mahendran has not fled the country, he's going to come back, right? And he made several other statements on that same line. Now, yesterday, the Colombo Magistrates Court issued an order via Interpol for Arjuna Mahendran to come to the country and appear before the CID and give a statement before the 15th of February. That's 11 days away. Why go to the trouble of getting the courts to issue an order via Interpol when the Prime Minister can get his good friend Arjuna Mahendran to come down here, come back to the country?
I'm sure that the Prime Minister has continuous discussions with his friend, either directly or indirectly, and the moral obligation is most certainly on the Prime Minister to ensure that his hand-picked choice to head the governorship of the central bank must return to answer questions.
The Prime Minister and several members of his party are going on saying, look, there's 12 billion inside the central bank, it's being held, you recover that, there's no loss.
That's completely untrue. The Prime Minister is at his uneconomical best here, because he's being very, very uneconomical with the truth. The fact is, it's not 9 billion, it's not 12 billion, we're looking at a little over 19 billion rupees. That's a whole lot of money.
It is clear that there was one motive behind this bond scam. It is to rob this country. It is to
You're
rob
right.
the EPF.
Rob. R-O-B, rob.
R-O-B, rob. And now, for us, it is clear, with the political statements being made, the party that Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe represents continuously made statements saying that, Arjun Aloysius, the former CEO of Perpetual Treasuries Limited, was engaged in these fraudulent activities or illegal activities even before they were elected into power. For us, here's the question. If you knew Arjun Aloysius was involved in these illegal activities even before you were elected, why go and invite his father-in-law to take the post of governor of the central bank?
And I'll go one step more. Why ignore the requirement of looking into it yourself as to whether the conflict of interest position had been completely disposed of? He didn't do that. The Prime Minister's inaction is absolutely inexcusable. There are no mitigating circumstances, whatever you say, sir.
It is clear by the Commission report, this is a scam. There's a loss. And remember, it is the EPF that suffered the most. Just imagine that news report that we had earlier about the family in Katugastota living under a bridge. And then we also reported some time back about a school where a classroom, the walls are made out of plastic paper. And then there are kidney patients in this country, heart patients in this country. There are families struggling to even have one meal a day. There are children who are not eating at all and just surviving on water when they go to school. All these matters could have been resolved, including the suicide trend followed by farmers because they cannot repay their loans. All this could have been avoided if there was no corruption in this country, and if money from the EPF, your hard-earned money, my hard-earned money, Fawaz's hard-earned money, was not looted in the first place. Fawaz, the main reason people drove out the former regime was because it was corrupt. And to the present government, you must not be fooled. You must not take the people for a ride, because the people decided on the 8th of January 2015 that they will kick out corruption, and they will do it once again. And it's no different for you as well. Now you're saying that money will be recovered. Isn't that some kind of a shameless statement to make for us?
Absolutely shameless. So you get caught robbing, and then you hand back the loot, and you can walk away scot-free, is it? That's not the way the law works.
The EPF was also looted during the previous regime. If you might remember, Roshan Shanaka, who was fighting for the rights of the EPF, was shot at, and he paid for it with his life. And then we also move on to other incidents where the EPF was looted, including hotel projects such as the Hyatt, where EPF money was taken in, and no one knew what happened to that money, and no one knew what happened to those hotel projects as well. Whereas in the end, all we can say is this: even in the past, the EPF was looted, and right now, from the central bank bond scam, the EPF has suffered. So that means your hard-earned money, my hard-earned money, and your hard-earned money for us has been looted. And this needs to stop, and the people will make that decision to put a stop to it once and for all.
The people's voice against corruption.
The Sri Lanka Freedom Party, convening a media briefing today, commented on the Commission of Inquiry appointed to probe into the airlines.
A special presidential commission of inquiry has been appointed to investigate matters that took place in Sri Lankan Airlines and Mehnia for 12 years. A retired Supreme Court judge, an appeals court judge and a High Court judge have been appointed to this commission. Those institutions have incurred losses in millions. As the agreements made by the previous government were abolished, a considerable foreign exchange due to the country was lost. The top tier of those institutions were paid a monthly salary of 1.5 million during the previous administration, and under this government, the CEO was paid 4.5 million. Such is the situation. This is not what the people expected when they elected the president.
Parliamentarian Vimal Weerawansa, speaking at a meeting organised by the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, expressed the following views.
They claim to have given media freedom, but they are using various schemes to tame the media. The UNP propaganda campaign has been given to media owners, and they are using those media institutions to do what they want. The channels that you had faith on have been roped in by the money of Ranil Wickremesinghe. We wish to inform the media channel that use Mahinda's win to increase their ratings to not engage in such low acts. It will not take very long for the people to bring down those ratings. If the media in this country is being misused by airing advertisements using the millions given by Wickremesinghe, we are not prepared to follow the silent treatment. We will raise this among the people, and we will fault to expose the use of the media.
Leader of the Janata Vimukta Peramuna Anura Kumar Dissanayake spoke at a public meeting in the Minuwangoda area.
The loss at Air Lanka is 125 billion. The cost to cancel the agreement was 18 billion. The loss from the hedging deal is 10.2 billion. The loss from the bond scam is 11 billion in 5 months. The loss at Sipecco in 5 months stood at 14 billion rupees. Ranil Wickremesinghe brought down 2 cars recently. How much did it cost? Both the cars were 600 million. One car is 300 million. Is this a country where you can spend 300 million on a car?
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe presided over a party activist meeting in Ambalantutta yesterday.
When we took over the country, the regime of Mahinda Rajapaksa left us debt. They had taken $1,300 million from a Chinese bank for the construction of the Hambantota port. The document reads, if you fail to pay, any movable and immovable property in Sri Lanka or overseas can be sold following a court ruling. An order was taken from a court in London. Now they say the country was sold to the Chinese. I will show this dangerous agreement. If there is even a single rupee or dollar missing, they can take over everything. Who signed it? I can say it was done by the Mahinda Rajapaksa administration.
Deputy Leader of the UNP, Minister Sajid Premadasa, also addressed the gathering.
The former president is holding meetings at every other village. The wife and sons as well as their entire family follow him. What does he say in those villages? He wants to revive his dream of becoming Prime Minister. He wants to go back to temple trees and the presidential palace. We have no such dreams. We have only one dream. That is to give a mansion to every family living under coconut leaves. We want to place a permanent roof above the heads of the homeless people in this country.
Former parliamentarian P.S. Vijayanayake held a media briefing in Colombo today.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa has told the Sunday Lanka that he will not allow the SLFP to be divided. He is saying that there is an attempt to divide the SLFP through a conspiracy. He is asking that the SLFP be protected. Various groups, including GLP research groups, are trying to mislead the public. He has made a correction before the country. The Flowerbird Party is now divided. Vimal Veerawangsa has sent a letter to the president recently. In this letter, he explains certain matters, and he is pleading that the bond thieves be arrested and action be taken against them. We are very clearly saying that the leaders who are on the Flowerbird Party stage are having discreet discussions with the president before the 10th. We are trying to emphasize here that if you need action to be taken against thieves, you need to join hands with President Maithripala Sirisena.
Here's a look at some views expressed in the political stage.
We had the best salt to eat during Mahinda Rajapaksa's era. Now the Saltern is nearby. A packet is 70 rupees and that too is spoilt. They leased out the international harbour first and then the fisheries harbour. If the SLFPers come to the village asking for the vote, ask them whether they want the village to sell the people in it. When the UNPers come, ask them why they want the village. Ask them what bank they are going to break into now.
The people of this country provided a mandate to the Good Governance government twice and asked that legal action be taken against the thieves. There is only a comma that has been placed regarding these legal actions. It has not come to complete standstill. You must place a full stop to the rogues and the thieves in the political sphere and sweep them away completely.
They are appointing commissions after commissions and they are not yielding any results. There are only expenditures that are incurred for the commissions. A B report has been issued with the names of Aloysius, the son-in-law. The SLFP members who are holding ministerial portfolios were waiting to see whether Ranil Wickremesinghe's name and Ravi Karunanayaka's name will be in this B report. What has happened now? Only Aloysius, the son-in-law, father-in-law duo have been named.
We were a group that aspired for a full green government. We have got blue colour and several other parties, and we are now a group that is multicoloured. Blue colour is everywhere we look. We are getting the best opportunity to change this on the 10th. The government cannot be toppled until 2020. Mahinda Rajapaksa says he will remove the teeth of the government. What has happened now? They do not have any teeth to be removed now. Their teeth are falling off.
They cannot do anything without the presence of a foreigner. That is why they have asked Prince William to be here. This is similar to inviting Batalandar Ranil Wickremesinghe as a chief guest of the Ill Hero celebrations where the JVP commemorates the death of Comrade Vijay Veera. They have taken the prestige of the country away from us.
When Mahinda Rajapaksa arrives, they show a large gathering. They view footage of a drone. They show footage from below. This is the new game. That is what was done. Not half of these people were from Nuwara Eliya.
It was the Prime Minister who broke into the central bank, no one else. They are trying to make Ravi Karunanayaka the scapegoat and go along in their merry way. Do not play hide and seek. 40 MPs from the UNP, including Malik Samaravikrama, headed by Ranil Wickremesinghe, all these people are involved in this. When Mahinda Rajapaksa was president, he protected Ranil Wickremesinghe. Mahinda thought that Ranil will be the presidential candidate in 2015. That is why he protected him. What happened at the end? Mahinda's plan didn't work. Now when Ranil is the Prime Minister, he is protecting Mahinda Rajapaksa. That is why they couldn't file a proper case in the past 3 years. A large number of UNPers are saying they will not vote for the UNP as long as Ranil Wickremesinghe remains.
They are shouting at each other, but they are all acting out a drama. There are 42 members of the UNP who have benefited from the offerings and the commissions of Perpetual Treasuries and Arjun Aloysius. We asked the President, if your blade is sharp, if you will beat with stingray tails, if you will drag people to the underworld, use your sword against Ranil Wickramasinghe.
They say we went to lick the bones of the UNP. It was Mahinda Rajapaksa who established a government by making 17 UNP members cross over. Do not forget that. What moral right does he have to question us when we are in the national government?
The Earl and Countess of Wessex attended an exhibition organized by the Rehabilitation Centre for the Communication Impaired and the School for the Deaf and Blind in Ratmalana today.
During their visit, the Earl and Countess met students from the school as well as children from the Rehabilitation Centre for the Communication Impaired and Differently Abled Girls from the Sri Lanka Girl Guides Association. On their tour of the school, their Royal Highnesses spoke with the children and were able to admire the arts and crafts they had produced using the skills they learnt as part of the Duke of Edinburgh's award programme. Several singing and dancing items were performed by the children during the ceremony. The Earl and Countess were presented with the Sri Lanka Girl Guides Association Friendship Badge and Centenary Badge respectively.
The Earl of Wessex, Prince Edward and the Countess of Wessex arrived at the School for the Deaf and Blind this afternoon to participate in an event where several performances were made by the children in the school. I have with me the English teacher for the School for the Deaf and Blind, Miss Taraka. Miss, what do you think about the event today and how the children were performing?
As a teacher of the School for the Deaf Ratmalana, I was so blessed to see the Prince Edward and Princess in here. And my students, they did a great performance. I think that the Prince and the Countess, they will really enjoy the whole program.
Today it's a very important day for our students as well as the teachers. Actually, I think it's a very good stage to showcase our children's talents. I think it will be a memorable time or memorable event for their lifetime.
In sports news now, Sri Lanka set up a potential final day victory in the first test against Bangladesh after smashing 713-9 before reducing the host to 81-3 in their second innings. Bangladesh still trails Sri Lanka by 119 runs, with first innings centurion Mominul Haq 18 not out at stumps on day 4 with an increasingly deteriorating pitch. And that's all the news we have for you. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Azra San. Thank you for joining us. Good night.